Alright, let's talk about the time I decided to climb the summit. And yes, I say decided like it was a casual weekend plan, but this thing was an absolute monster. I've seen the pictures, the epic sunrise shots, the people looking like they just conquered the world. I thought, hey, I'm reasonably fit, I like a good hike, how hard can it be? Spoiler alert, it was hard, incredibly soul-crushingly hard. And this is the story of my first and absolutely 100%, my very last attempt at climbing that beast. The journey started months before I even saw the mountain. Training became my life. I was that person at the gym on a Friday night, loading up the stair climber, pretending it was a steep alpine ascent. My friends would be sending me pictures from the pub, and I'd be sending back sweaty selfies with a caption like, "Gains for the summit." I read every blog, watched every documentary. I learned about acclimatization, the dangers of altitude sickness, and the importance of layering your clothes. I even practiced packing and unpacking my ridiculously oversized backpack until I could do it in the dark. I was obsessed. I had the gear, the training, the pure, unadulterated overconfidence of a novice who thinks they've got it all figured out. Finally, the day arrived. We flew into this tiny mountain town, and the air was already different, thin and crisp. Looking up at the summit from the valley, it didn't seem real. It was like a postcard, a jagged white peak piercing a perfect blue sky. The sheer scale of it was intimidating. That little voice of doubt started whispering, but I pushed it down with another energy gel. No turning back now. The first day of the trek was actually nice. We walked through these beautiful green meadows along a rushing river. The sun was out, spirits were high. I was chatting with our guide, Pemba, a man who had been up and down this mountain more times than I've had hot dinners. He had this calm, knowing smile, like he'd seen 1,000 eager faces just like mine. We reached our first tea house for the night, feeling accomplished. We played cards, drank ginger tea, and watched the stars come out. At that point, I was thinking, yeah, I could get used to this. This is amazing. Oh, the sweet, sweet ignorance of day one. Day two is when reality started to set in. The trail got steeper, the air got thinner, and my backpack felt like it was filled with bricks. Every step was an effort. You walk for 10 minutes, and you're gasping for air like you've just run a marathon. The beautiful scenery was still there, but it was getting harder to appreciate it when all you can think about is putting one foot in front of the other. The mantra became slow and steady. Pemba would just glide along, barely breaking a sweat, while I was a huffing, puffing mess behind him. The conversations died down. Everyone in our group was in their own little world of struggle, just focusing on the rhythm of their breathing and their footsteps. By day 3, I was officially questioning all my life choices. We were above the tree line now. The landscape was stark and rocky, like being on another planet. It was brutally beautiful, but the altitude was really starting to hit me. I had a persistent dull headache that no amount of water could fix. My appetite was gone. Eating became a chore, something you had to force yourself to do because you knew you needed the fuel. The nights were the worst. It was freezing cold, and the thin air made it impossible to get a deep, restful sleep. I'd just lie there in my sleeping bag, listening to the wind howl outside, my heart pounding in my chest for no reason. This is the part of the story they don't always show you in the epic drone shots. It's not just physical. It's a mental battle. You're tired, you're sore, you're cold, you feel sick. Your brain starts playing tricks on you. You can't do this, it says. Just turn back. There's a warm bed and a hot meal waiting for you down there. It's a constant negotiation with yourself. You have to find a reason to keep going when every cell in your body is screaming at you to stop. For me, it was pure stubbornness. I had told everyone I was doing this. I couldn't face the idea of quitting. Then came the pre-summit push briefing. We gathered in the dining hall of the highest base camp, huddled around a small heater. Pemba laid out the plan. We would wake up at midnight, start climbing in total darkness, and aim to reach the summit for sunrise. He went over the safety procedures, the signs of severe altitude sickness to watch out for, and the absolute importance of following his instructions. The mood was tense. The fun and games were over. This was the real deal. He looked each of us in the eye and said, "The mountain will always be here. Your life is more important. If I tell you to turn back, you turn back." No arguments. That night, nobody slept. Midnight, the alarm goes off. It's pitch black and bitterly cold. You force yourself out of your sleeping bag, layer upon layer of clothing, headlamp on. Stepping outside was like stepping onto an alien ice planet. The only light was the small circle from your headlamp and an ocean of stars above. The only sound was the crunch of your boots on the frozen ground and the wind. We started moving, a slow, single-file line of headlamps inching its way up a massive wall of white. I can't even begin to describe the exhaustion. It's a level of tired I didn't know was possible. Your legs are screaming, your lungs are burning, every breath is a desperate gasp. You're not even walking anymore. You're just sort of shuffling. One step. Breathe. Another step. Breathe. That's your entire world. You can't see where you're going. You can't see how far you have to go. You just trust the boots of the person in front of you and keep moving. There were moments I honestly thought I was going to fall asleep while walking. I would close my eyes for just a second and start to drift. After what felt like an eternity, the first hint of light appeared on the horizon. It started as a faint purple-orange glow, slowly spreading across the sky. And with the light, you could finally see it, the summit. It was still so far away. It looked impossibly high, impossibly steep. That was the lowest point for me. Seeing the goal and realizing just how much more pain and effort it was going to take to get there, I sat down in the snow, completely spent. I told Pemba, "I don't think I can do it." He came over, knelt down, and gave me some hot tea from his flask. He didn't shout or pressure me. He just looked at me with that calm smile and said, "Look how far you have come. Just a little more. Slow and steady. We do it together." I don't know what it was, the tea, the words, or just the kindness in his eyes, but it was enough. I got back up. I knew I wouldn't be fast. I knew it would be agony. But I was going to try. That last push was a blur. I don't remember much of it. Just putting one foot in front of the other, my world narrowed down to a few feet of snow. And then suddenly there was nowhere else to go up. We were there, on the summit. I collapsed onto my knees, gasping for air, tears freezing on my face. And I looked around. The sun was cresting over a sea of clouds below us. All you could see for miles and miles were the jagged peaks of other mountains poking through the clouds like islands in the sky. The world was spread out beneath us. It was the most beautiful, most profound thing I have ever seen. We were only up there for about 15 minutes. It's too dangerous to stay longer. But in that short time, all the pain, the struggle, the doubt, it all made sense. It was all worth it for that one moment of pure, unadulterated awe. Taking the obligatory summit photo, I could barely manage a smile. I was so exhausted. But inside, I felt a sense of achievement I'd never known. The descent was brutal in its own way, but the feeling of heading down, of getting back to thicker air, was a huge relief. When we finally stumbled back into base camp, it was like returning from war. But was it worth it? Absolutely. Would I ever do it again? Absolutely not. It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and once is definitely enough for me. I conquered the summit, but more importantly, I think I conquered a part of myself. And I'll take the memories and the stiff knees over another midnight wake-up call any day. Thanks for watching my journey. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more, slightly less extreme adventures.